So I was raised here. I was born up in New York, and I moved down here when I was 3. And so ever since then, I mean, I've just had kind of a long love connection to the town of Orange. And really it's surprising, right? Because moving from a big hustle and bustle city to kind of this small town environment, it's pretty crazy how much I fell in love with it. Honestly, it feels like home, and I don't consider anything else home but Orange. So
Yeah.
it's
So
really crazy.
share with me some of your early memories here in the town.
Oh man.
Good, bad, and indifferent.
Well, I mean, honestly, I would say that kind of like even started, I went to school here, right here in Orange Elementary School. And that's kind of when I kind of figured out like, yeah, like I'm gonna have a fun time here. I mean, my childhood has been great, right? I have so many memories here. Actually, one particularly that was actually, I remember the fireworks. Like Orange has that fireworks here right here at Booster Park, and I used to always like get so excited for it. Even as a small kid, like I always looked forward to the fireworks. No matter what, we have to go to the fireworks. And there was one time when it was just, I was super excited. My parents finally like took me to go see the fireworks show, and it was a tradition. And then it rained. It rained so bad, and I was just distraught. I was like, no, like we got to go see the fireworks. And just because like there, like being a small town, so many people, everyone knows everyone right here in Orange. And that's one of the things I love about it. You can't find anywhere else. But there in the fireworks show, you just find everyone kind of like that sense of camaraderie. Like everyone's there saying hi to one another. You don't have to know one another. It's just that sense of community and camaraderie where you don't really feel anywhere else. And then that kind of stuck with me all the way throughout all my years and ages, whether it's a school game or whether it's a basketball game, football game. That sense of camaraderie never leaves, no matter where you're at in Orange. So that's what
You went to Orange County High School?
I did. I'm so glad that I did.
And what were some of your activities there?
So at Orange County High School, I was really involved in this organization called Deca. So Deca is a co-curricular student organization with about 200,000 members around the globe. And we had a small chapter there in Orange County High School, Deca. But I got involved into it, and I was like, I don't really know what Deca is, but we're going to try it. And so I tried it my sophomore year, and lo and behold, I fell in love with it. It taught me all the skills that I have now, as far as speaking, making those connections, and all the skills and tools you need to be successful. And so I took a leap of faith. I went and I ran to be state vice president for Virginia Deca, to lead the 15,000 member organization here in Virginia. And then I still had this passion for it, so I went and I ran to be international executive president for Deca Inc. For the entire global organization, and lo and behold, we won. And so then I just wrapped up this term speaking in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium with 18,000 members. But the one thing that was crazy was that when we were elected, like I had all my closest friends right here in Orange. And, that's the one thing about Orange is we cheer each other on, right? And, that one Orange County boy, that small town boy with big dreams. So it doesn't really matter. That's when it clicked in that even though I am from a small town, it doesn't really matter. You can always still dream big and accomplish. But there, I also went to be the sports broadcaster announcer there for Orange County High School. So I announced for all the sports games there at Orange County High School, and that was fun. I loved that, as well as being the school board student liaison for addressing all the students' concerns that we had here at Orange County High School, getting involved in Just Orange and the youth, a political, civic activist group. I tried to dabble in all that I could get my hands on in Orange County High School for sure. Right. So
now, I had never heard of Deca before.
Yeah.
So tell me more about it.
So Deca is an international organization. So its mission statement reads, Deca Inc. is an international organization that prepares emerging leaders and entrepreneurs for future careers in marketing, finance, hospitality, and management in high schools and colleges around the globe. And so it really is a great organization that really teaches you everything you need to know to be successful, not only in the business world, but in the real world, period. And it really gave me the foundation. That was my niche. That was my passion. And because of that, I was so happy. But Deca is really an international organization, so I was glad that we had it here in Orange County, and we have multiple different chapters around, the globe. But it really just kind of puts you through like scenarios, like role plays or presentations, and it teaches you how to be able to sell yourself in any kind of situation that you're in, which is amazing.
As I understand it, you graduated from Orange County High School in 2021.
Yes.
You're taking this year off not really off, but you're involved with Deca. You're not going to college yet, and you're going to go start at Virginia Tech
Yes.
next fall.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Heading off to Virginia Tech this fall, exactly, to study business administration and management in the Pamplin College of Business. Yes, sir. And through this gap year, like you said, it was kind of, well, I did it to serve the students. I mean, because serving this big of an organization, it was very hard to do with a full-time college schedule. So typically the organization prefers their executive president to take that gap year. And we had a real conversation. They're like, hey, you're going to be busy. So maybe consider taking the gap year. And I did it. And I'm so glad that I did, because it taught me a lot of lessons and it kept me more connected to my community at the end of the day. So
Yeah. I noticed that you are working for the town of Culpeper Police Department.
I am. Yes, sir.
What are you doing with there?
So I am a CS officer for the town of Culpeper Police Department,
What now?
a community services officer for the town of Culpeper Police Department. And honestly, I really love the role that I do. So it's really, it allows me to kind of interact with the community in a different light. I'm still there answering, certain calls for service. I'm still out there directing traffic. And actually I start and end my day of my shift at the schools and the school zones, directing traffic for the kids to get across the street and school buses, things like that. But it allows us to kind of, because right now we find ourselves in a very divided nature between politics or whatever it may be. My position really allows me to kind of really bridge that gap between the communities that we serve and the individuals that are there to protect us and serve us. So I really love my position, because it really allows me to be able to kind of step back and listen to our community. And I come from a long line of service members, with my brother actually being deployed right now in the U.S. Air Force, my father from law enforcement, and then my uncle. So like everyone served. And so I'm glad to get to serve in kind of a different way, in this way, and being able to kind of bridge that gap.
Are you thinking eventually about law enforcement as a career?
I have, for sure, and it's definitely something that has been my dream. However, one thing that's a secret of mine actually is that although law enforcement has been my dream for a long time, my dream also since I was 5 years old, that has never, ever, ever went away from me, was to be the governor of Virginia. That, and believe it or not, that has been my dream ever since I was young, and I just haven't told many people about that because that's a big dream. But that's just a dream that's never gone away, and I love serving people in a different way and serving them as their elected official. So I think that definitely that's kind of the service that I want to bring back, and is in that capacity.
How do you see the town of Orange today?
Opportunity. I see a lot of opportunity here, honestly. A lot of people view it in a different perspective. A lot of people view it as not enough opportunity, but I view it as a launching pad. We are a small town. However, as I just stated, that doesn't mean we can't dream big. And if anything, I think that being from a small town only motivates us to push harder, right? So I think I looked at it really as kind of a launching pad per se. So here we are in the town of Orange. Maybe a lot of people may have not known about it. However, I think it's up to us, and looking at a lot of my peers that are in the school system now, they really do care about their future. And that's one thing that I really noticed within our school system, no matter where we are. One thing about each and every single one of our Orange County residents is that, yeah, we may be a small town, but it's steady living and steady progress. And we care about the direction that this town is going. And I think that only motivates us to be successful in everything that we do and bring success back to our town.
What do you see for this town in 20 years, 50 years, and 100 years?
Well, honestly, I think that in our DNA is that small town feeling. However, I do think that we're going to grow. I do think that a lot of more people are going to find to love Orange, and that's just inevitable, right? Because there's a lot of things to love about this community. So I think our times as a very small town are limited and extend. We're still gonna always have, though, that small town feeling with the same camaraderie and that sense of community. I just think that a lot more people are gonna come here. However, in 20 years time, I think with that new generation coming into Orange, I think that we're gonna see, a kind of different life, and a different life in the sense of emerging leaders in our school systems empowering our students in different ways. Not that they don't do that now, but a kind of a new wave and a new kind of sense of urgency, right? I do see that a lot more people are going to take, as we talked about earlier, that launching pad acronym. I think that's going to come to light. I think we're going to see a lot more individuals prove themselves and be right here from Orange County. We're going to see a lot of individuals go accomplish great things, and right when they put in their hometown, they're going to put town of Orange. I do see a lot of success here. I do see a lot of things changing here. But all in all, the one thing that I don't see changing in 100 years times or 50 years time or 20 years time is that grin, right? That grin that comes to everyone's face when you do accomplish something big and you say, hey, I'm from Orange. That grin that immediately comes across your face. Because I know that's what comes across from me. When I go out and I travel in my duties and they ask where I'm from, I proudly say I'm from Orange. And it takes them a minute. They're like, California? No, I'm from Orange, Virginia. And that grin will never, the grin that I have right now, it'll never go away because, that I'm just proud to be here.
What effect do you think COVID, the internet like Amazon and the big box stores have had on the town of Orange as far as retail business is concerned?
I think it has had an effect in the sense of there are more, because Orange has its characteristics, right? It has that kind of mom and pop shop when you go down Main Street, and we like to support one another. That sense of camaraderie is in our DNA, it's in our blood, it's in our town history. And I do think that with the more big box stores that come in, we get distracted. But you know what? I think all in all, it's probably one of our owns that are opening up those stores, right? And so I do think that kind of bigger media and bigger box office stores are coming here because they see the opportunity that's here in Orange. They see the opportunity that relies here within our town limits. Mm-hmm. And so then I think that goes back to the roadmap of Orange is that we're going to expand in different ways. However, the people of Orange and the residents of Orange, it's up to us to ensure that our identity doesn't change with it.